The haunting howl. In a small, isolated town nestled deep within the woods, strange occurrences became more frequent as the full moon approached. Villagers reported eerie howls echoing through the night, sending shivers down their spines. One dark evening, a local farmer named Jack was tending to his livestock when he heard the spine-chilling cry coming from the woods. Suddenly, his horses grew restless and started acting agitated. Fear gripping his heart, he hurried back to his house. As the full moon emerged from behind the clouds, Jack noticed a figure lurking outside his window, a tall, slender figure with the eyes of a wild animal. Terrified, he realized it was a skinwalker. The creature pounded on the window, begging to be let in. He knew better than to comply, for the legends warned against granting them entry into one's home. Jack sought protection from ancient talismans and prayers, and the skinwalker vanished as the sun's rays returned. A ranger's encounter. Deep within a national park, a ranger named Emma was used to navigating the wilderness. One night, she received a call about an injured camper stranded in the woods. Determined to help, she set out with her flashlight and radio. However, as she approached the camper's last known location, the woods fell silent, and an unsettling feeling crept over her. Suddenly, Emma heard a faint voice calling for help, but something felt off. The voice seemed distorted, like an imitation of a human's cry. Still, she followed the sound, unaware of the danger that lurked nearby. With each step, the voice grew louder and more convincing. Just as she was about to reach the source, her instincts kicked in, and she stopped dead in her tracks. There, standing before her, was a creature that resembled a twisted, grotesque version of a deer, with hollow eyes and matted fur. It was a skinwalker attempting to lure her to her demise. Emma fled back to her station, never speaking of the encounter to anyone. But since that night, she always kept an extra watchful eye on the shadows that danced in the moonlight. The shape-shifting stranger. In a remote desert town, a group of friends gathered around a campfire, sharing stories of the supernatural. A stranger wandered into the scene, uninvited and unnerving. He introduced himself as Michael, and seemed harmless enough, albeit a bit peculiar. He took an interest in the tales of skinwalkers, listening intently and asking probing questions. As the night progressed, Michael became more comfortable with the group, revealing an uncanny knowledge of the local legends. Some of the friends noticed that his eyes appeared to gleam in the darkness, reflecting the fire's flickering light. They couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off about him. One by one, the friends excused themselves to retire to their tents, leaving Michael alone by the dying embers. Before he vanished into the shadows, he glanced over his shoulder, and in that fleeting moment, his face appeared to distort, becoming eerily wolf-like. The friends were convinced they had encountered a real skinwalker that night. These stories of skinwalkers are meant to evoke a sense of unease and mystery. Remember, they are folklore, and while they continue to fascinate and frighten many, their existence remains a matter of belief and speculation.
Subscribe Shadowy Shivers for more horror stories and contents.